RJ Harvey owners are in panic mode as they await the running back's fate via the NFL draft. A lot of buzz, a lot of chatter, conjecture, a lot of predictions, and nothing based on concrete evidence coming from the Broncos or anything like that suggests that the Broncos will take an RB in the NFL draft and presumably an early RB. We'll break that all down. We'll describe how the value is kind of hidden in RJ Harvey, but also risk is present. Parker Washington's season is upon us. Breece Hall, what's going on with his tag, his contract? Is there a trade potential? And we'll talk a little bit about the Cuffboard, which we have yet to construct, but maybe we construct some of it live on the channel today. The Fantasy Football Show Breaking News Edition, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. edition begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So RJ Harvey is a very complicated running back to own, assess, draft, grade, trade for, trade away, because you're having to make weird assumptions, right? If you're trading for him. You have to make weird assumptions and unknown guesstimations if you're trading in any capacity, away or for. So let's break it down. RJ Harvey, as it stands right now, is coming off a fantastic season that he didn't even get the ball as much as, he should have, could have. Now, how do we feel about that? What does that mean to you or I when we go digging into the weeds and start saying to ourselves, well, you know what? RJ Harvey, and let me pull up his career or his 2026 advanced metrics, which there's some impressive stuff about it, but you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt and say that he didn't get fed the ball like he should have. But look at some of the data and determine for yourself whether this is a player that has earned the right to be called a sleeper walking into this upcoming season. Some of you that already have RJ Harvey, unfortunately, you paid a high price tag for said running back. And so you're sitting in a different chair or perspective than somebody that is going to draft him. If you've already drafted him, you own him in an existing league, you overpaid. Because now he sits in turmoil, in a purgatory of sorts as we await the NFL draft. But if you're drafting him today, it's a very different situation entirely because the cost of entry and vantage point is significantly different. Harvey was number 6 in the league in receiving touchdowns. Pretty impressive. Receptions, he was number 8. Yards after contact, yards after contact per reception, yards after contact receiving for running backs, number 7. Receiving yards, he was number 8 in the league. And yards after catch, 12th, and you can see that a lot of the numbers go down from there. But this was still a pretty damn good running back when you think about it. The fact that he was one of the better receiving backs in the league, given the limited usage, given the late start, given the inconsistent play, and he still was top 10 in receiving yards and yards after contact, receiving for running backs and for receiving yards and receptions and red zone targets. Red zone targets is an important number here. To be 8th in the league out of all the 2025 running backs in red zone targets, that tells you something. What you have to understand, again, this is two different vantage points. You already own him already. You're kind of beholden to the information and you're just hoping that everything goes to plan. Otherwise, you get lost in all of this and you lose all your money. You can't even cash out. No one's trading for RJ Harvey right now. And not to mention, I don't advise that you do trade him because he's worth pennies on the dollar. You're going to the pawn shop and giving them a $500 item, and they're like, we'll give you $80. There's nothing you can do. If you don't already have this man on your roster, you have an opportunity to buy at a very, very low price that bakes in all the risk. You have the opportunity to cuff the situation later if things get kind of messy. I don't believe that this will get crazy out of control to where he's been replaced. If anything, if they brought somebody in, and we'll talk about that somebody, could be Mike Washington. Well, hang tight. If they brought in Mike Washington, let's say, this would be a cheap Mike Washington because everybody would be fearful of Harvey, and nobody would go near Harvey because they'd be fearful of Mike Washington. So in a way, for people that don't own RJ Harvey, this could be quite an intriguing proposition later on after the NFL draft. And when we go to the Cuffboard, which I have not constructed yet, I threw 2 names on the board real quickly. I think this is, and I corrected myself. The other day, I did a live stream where I said I'm kind of out on Kyren. I've been reassessing that, and I have changed my tune. Not that I'll oversaturate on Kyren shares, but the ADP of Quorum is so ridiculously good. And the ADP of Kyren is not that expensive. It's a little higher than I would like if I didn't have the opportunity to get Quorum. But the fact that you can cuff these two together and probably guarantee yourself, I don't think it'll be too messy. You'll have a little bit of a timeshare throughout the entire season, but you'll kind of know what time it is and what's up. And you'll be able to throw. You might get it wrong once in a while. And best ball is absolutely beautiful. I smell meatloaf.
He's Kyren. He's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball.
So, 2 very, very different perspectives. Best ball, you just grab both of them. Each week, the optimal lineup is set for you. One will probably do much better than the other. Maybe 4 or 5 games, they might be very close, and they kind of are neck and neck, score about the same. But if one goes down, the other thrives. If Quorum goes down, Kyren's top 5 to 7. If Kyren goes down, Quorum's top, not as good, but 8 to 10, maybe 7 to 10. And in best ball, that could be a winning formula. In non-best ball, where were we at? Were we on this? No, Cuffboard. So in a non-best ball format, this is still very lucrative, especially the later you get Kyren. My advice would be strike on Kyren when you're not expecting to draft him and he falls way too far into the late 4th round in a situation where you're like, I haven't gone RB2 yet. This looks pretty good. My 5th round pick's not that far off. I think I could go ahead and get away with this swapperoo, where the guy I'm drafting in the 4th round right here, that's not Kyren, I can almost get him or someone right near that, or a quarterback in the 5th round. So let's go ahead and readjust here. Go Kyren, grab Quorum later. This is wonderful in a non-best ball home league. I just wouldn't, in non-best ball, I wouldn't oversaturate this plan of attack. I would be careful to implement it where it made sense. Don't grab Kyren at top of 4. This is a Kyren falls into your lap in the mid to late 4th round, and then you're grabbing, or even worse, sometimes he goes further down the stream, and then you just grab him and you say, I'll figure out Quorum later, and it's beautiful. So I go back on what I said. There was only one video where I said it, and I've corrected it now 2 or 3 times on 2 or 3 different streams in a row. So I'm trying to make it abundantly clear that I've changed my tune, because some people have come to me saying, Smitty, I saw your Kyren. So I don't know how many times I've got to say it to undo what I said, just so people don't freak out and trade them away at pennies on the dollar. I more so meant I'm fearful that this is going to be more messy every year that we get into it. Potentially the volume is going to add up. But then again, I went back and I said to myself, hold on a second. How old is Kyren Williams? Not to mention, Kyren just got his new contract. And Kyren Williams is I want to say one of the younger running backs in the league, because there are a lot of running backs that are listed ahead of him on my age chart if you go to the age data section on thefantasyfootballshow.com. How do you get there? You go to a player page. The running backs are the only ones that this is up for really right now. Quarterbacks a little bit. I'm working on implementing it all. But if you go to, like, let's say Kyren Williams' player page, and you click on his age, which is hyperlinked, it'll go to this chart right here. I was on Gibbs's page when I clicked it, so it brought me to a highlighted Gibbs row, which is so awesome. It just jumps and snaps right to where the player is. But right here, you can see Kyren Williams, 25.6 years of old. 25.6 years of age is not that old, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know, part of me feels like I'm changing my tune dramatically, not just situationally, on the Kyren Williams Quorum combo. I think it's a pretty lucrative business to be in 2026, and I totally Smitty approve it.
You've just been
In spots. Now, full circle back, tangent style like Smitty does it better than anybody. Let's get back on track. RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey, I don't know if he'll be 2. I just put him here for right now because we don't have anybody else on the board. We'll go over some of the cups too in a second. But RJ Harvey is a player that's going to require the cuff. And it's possible RJ Harvey becomes the cuff and this switches on you. You don't know. Mike Washington could end up getting drafted to this situation. And then what? Well, I mean, the best thing I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if that happens, you're going to get a monster in Mike Washington. And you'll probably see, and this is not guaranteed that they're going to draft him, but this is a scenario that's being kicked around a lot. And this is a very, very, very Sean Payton type of running back and Sean Payton type of move. And if it happened, I believe that the Harvey threat would damage the ADP, at least in redraft. Dynasty might be tough to speculate, but would damage in redraft the ADP of Washington enough and counter, act the current Harvey value, and then you see him get sent downstream, that it would be potentially a lucrative combo to grab as well. So these two players, or whoever the Broncos end up taking, and maybe they don't take a single elite running back. It's possible. But the thing that I'd say to warn you about is that this running back class, while some call it bad, it's so deep, and everybody's kind of the same, from Emmett Johnson to Jonah Coleman to, even down to like Singleton if he got on the right spot. There's such a long list of tier 2 running backs that it could be any one of them. So if Jonah Coleman lands in Denver, he could be the one and Harvey could be the cuff. If Washington Jr., kind of my favorite second running back after Jeremiah Love, lands in Denver, he could be the one, Harvey could become the cuff. But no matter which way you slice this, Harvey ain't going away. If anything, Harvey could become the thorn in the side of the player that they bring in, and he's still going to get the PPR production, because everything I showed you right here from Harvey is pretty electric considering the late start and misusage. The man is they're throwing to him constantly, and they didn't even get going until later on this, and it still wasn't full time, and he still was top 10 in receiving touchdowns. He was actually number 6. He had 5 of them. And receiving yards, he had 356, which finished 8th in the league. I'm pretty damn excited about RJ Harvey with the running back that's incoming. And if no running back is incoming, everybody that's been sitting on RJ Harvey shares is going to take a deep breath, exhale, and say thank you, fantasy football creators, because now I have a running back that I think is going to earn what I paid. Harvey's an interesting player, for sure. We'll get to the Cuffboard in a second, but I wanted to address that Harvey's value is volatile. And people say, well, Smitty, you were all over Harvey, the Triple H and Associates. Look, things change, and I still love Harvey. And Triple H is still going to be cooking.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates.
Don't you fret.
Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Buka, Hampton, Hendy will be eventually a rising star at Harvey. This is still a great-looking Triple H and Associate board. The values are tremendous for everybody not named Hampton, and even Hampton will earn his value, but I'm saying that Hendy's value could skyrocket. Ibuka's could skyrocket. Harvey's could skyrocket. Hampton's worth the weight here in gold because he'll deliver upon that. And so Triple H is in good standing. There's no making fun of the Triple H and Associates. You're only making fun of yourself if you come in here making fun of the Triple H and Associates. Book's going to be fantastic. You watch. So just wanted to address the RJ Harvey volatility. And what I was trying to say was that I'm the king of adjust and adapt. You will find no creator that has less bias than I do. Because one year I am promoting someone to the moon, and the next year I'm coming in with caution, and I'm not doubling down because I said it. I'm not doubling down because I said it over and over and over. I adjust and adapt better than anybody, and that's one lesson I try to implement and impress upon all of you, to look at it as a strength, not a weakness. You're not flip-flopping when you adjust and adapt. You're reading the room. You're reading the stock market that is fantasy football values. They go up and down, just like my stock market board on thefantasyfootballshow.com. If you haven't seen it, you haven't heard about it, learn about it, check it out. I'll screenshot it right here. But this is the stock market board at thefantasyfootballshow.com. And it is tremendous. It is unbelievable. You'll drool all over the place when you see what I've done to the website. The website's been revamped entirely. But the fantasy football space is a stock market. Smitty, why is Judkins on there minus 10%? Go check it out. Smitty, I can't believe you like Justin Jefferson 16% more than you did. Go check it out. Why is Kyler that important? Go read about it. Learn about it. But the world outside of this show doesn't adjust and adapt. And we react around that. That's what adjust and adapt is meant. Why it's so important is because if you're adjusting when the crowd is not, if you're bobbing and weaving and zigging and zagging through the noise, and you understand when values change, you sell or buy. When they change again, you buy or sell. It's a stock market. You might be down on said player right now. The draft comes, ruins that player's day, like Harvey. Harvey all of a sudden becomes a buy if his value gets tanked even more and he becomes free. Everything is a stock market. That's the way this thing works. RJ Harvey, maybe to the moon, maybe not, but we'll be here to adjust and adapt and grab shares where we need to. Parker Washington. Let's talk about Parker Washington.
You've just been Smitty approved.
P-Wash is a fantastic player that we love very, very much on this channel, so much so that he is on, I believe, the Moon Man list.
The Moon Man.
P-Wash.
Dropping loads in outer space.
P-Wash, we're approaching almost 2 months now that P-Wash has been
Space Monsters.
M-Wash and P-Wash and Associates. We hope that they create some sort of laundry firm, or I'm not sure. Maybe it'll be a laundromat. I don't know, business, or maybe they're a law firm. We don't know. But M-Wash and P-Wash and Associates are here to stay. Drop the wash emoji in the live chat for either wash. But these two gems are just that. They're gems. And this report right here, Sports Illustrated, John Shipley believes that the contract signed by Titans wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson makes sense as things stand today when talking about Parker Washington. And that there's other reports off of the back of this one saying that he's going to blow that contract out of the water. And we'll see what happens. But why I even bring this up is because, unfortunately, when players start getting talked about and they get paid, or they get talked about getting paid, people start taking notice. And it's a signal and indicator that a team is going to lean on that player as their number one wide receiver. And the problem with that is we're stealing away P-Wash like it's taking candy from a baby right now. Why? Because people are viewing the room as crowded and they don't want to touch the room and they want to stay away from the room. Well, we don't. We know what we know. We have seen what we've seen. And again, adjust and adapt is what we do. You might say, well, what happened? This is where the person that doesn't even know ball or watch my channel religiously or anything, they come in and they go, what about Hunter? Didn't you just say last year you loved? Guys, gather around. Get behind me. Didn't you just say you liked Hunter? Am I right, guys? Am I right? As if it offends me, hurts my feelings, doesn't mean anything. And Hunter still could have his day. But this is adjust and adapt country and adjust territory. And I'm telling you right now, P. Wash is the number one wide receiver in Jacksonville. Doesn't matter what you know or knew or what you thought last year or what I said last year. Is, as Tony Soprano said, remember when's the most boring form of conversation. And you're sitting here talking about remember when? Remember when the Raiders' offensive line was bad? That's my favorite one. According to reports, I'm not going toward Ashton Genty until they fix the offensive line and prove it. Well, that's not how this channel works. That's not how I function. And this man right here is the number one wide receiver in Jacksonville. And this news right here, not big, not significant in and of itself, the signal here is loud and it's far reaching, and people will smell it out and say, well, I guess P. Wash is their number one. ADP starts to rise as people start to talk about him. Contracts, money, it all gets people making content about him. Then people start taking notice, and then people start asking questions, and all of a sudden you start seeing P. Wash's name everywhere. P. Wash is probably here to stay. Is he guaranteed to be the number one wide receiver in 2026? No, BTJ still has something to say about that, and will adjust and adapt if need be, because we don't stick to our guns just to stick to our guns. We make good decisions. We look at the market and we react. We watch the players and say, never mind, this looks really good right here. We're going to watch BTJ, but BTJ doesn't fit this scheme. He's never played well with Trevor Lawrence ever. Trevor Lawrence was out. Mac Jones was in. BTJ, the breakout rookie season where he finished number 4 out of all fantasy wide receivers, happened under Mac Jones's command. When T-Law came back, all of a sudden BTJ kind of hit a rookie wall, we thought, and just kind of finished his year up and down. And that's because T-Law and BTJ have never meshed well. And I think that there's an eventual trade on the horizon. If the team that wants BTJ enough will overpay and make this a deal that the Jaguars can't turn down, an offer they can't refuse. If nobody comes in strong with an offer, let's say mid-season, I'm not saying it happens on draft day, and everyone's going to say, they're not trading him. They said it there. The GM even said it, Smitty. Like, I don't care what anybody says. We've seen the Niners say we don't trade good players. We don't trade good players. Robotically, is Deebo Samuel going to get traded to the Commanders? We don't trade good players. Deebo traded to the Commanders. Like, let's stop with this nonsense. We're in smoke season. You've learned more than this. You have more knowledge than this. Stop saying it. It's embarrassing. Anything can happen. And when you're not in the pecking order at all as a priority, when P. Wash is your priority, when you extended Jacoby Myers, when you have Travis Hunter, young up-and-coming wide receiver and cornerback, he's not just a cornerback. Stop. You're better than this. Stop listening to the noise where someone says, I don't think that Hunter's ever playing wide receiver ever again. They're focusing him on defense only now. Keep thinking what you want to think. If BTJ got traded, Hunter would be rebounding in the wide receiver room a little bit quicker. Right now, he's going to play both. He's probably going to play a lot of DB. We don't know if that changes even between now and week 1. Hunter might be so electric on the field, they say he's going to be getting 50-50 again. You have no idea what's going to happen with Travis Hunter. And the fact that BTJ, we don't know where he fits, is a very vulnerable trade to happen eventually if the price is right. This is the guy. This is the player. This is the one. For right now, it could change, but this is the guy. This is the sleeper candidate that's going to go out there, be electric, be explosive. Does he have elite wide receiver 1 potential? I'm not going to go that far. I'm just saying he's a great grab, a value grab, a sleeper grab, a guy you're grabbing as your, I don't know, his 4th or 5th wide receiver sometimes. Let me go to Underdog real quickly. It's all about cost of entry with this kid. If he rose up into this is kind of my cautionary tale here, is if he rises up into an elite, level, we'll probably be out and just say, well, we got him cheaply before and everybody else can kind of swoop in and grab him and oversaturate their teams at a higher value. But I'm scrolling. He's 72 overall. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Parker Washington at 72 overall is remarkable value. This is fantastic. P. Wash is going at 72 overall. That is steal territory. That's win a league territory if he delivers 1,100 yard, 10 touchdown season or something. But when he climbs into a different space, it's going to be different, okay? Understand the value that is Parker Washington, 72 overall. This is not he's a number 5 wide receiver show. This is not that he's a top 10 locked in wide receiver. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm saying you're winning a league potentially, or it's assisting you in winning a league at 72 overall value. That's not even your wide receiver 3. This is not even your wide receiver 3. That is the game we play. Crazy value. Crazy. We'll adjust and adapt as his value adjusts and adapts. When people catch up to what we do. This is why I say, when people say, Smitty, should I draft a tight end early? And I say, the earlier you draft, the better. If you draft in March, April, May, on Underdog, promo code Smitty will draft tonight on Underdog. They'll match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000 by using code Smitty on Underdog. We may draft tonight, so click that link now in the description. It enters the code for you. If you're saying, Smitty, do I draft a tight end early? I'm telling you that the earlier you draft, the more it makes sense. And let me just clear this board real quickly and show you what I mean. If you're taking, let's say, McBride or Bowers, let's use Bowers at 3.1 or even 2.12, this will become problematic or more problematic downstream. You'll be sitting here going, I don't know. I feel like my team has a void and a hole. I don't think it looks quite the same. I don't like it down later in September, October, or August. If you draft in October, August, September, Bowers early is going to look different than Bowers early now because of the players that you get in deep in the draft. You start stacking Parker Washingtons, and you're getting Mahomes in round 8, and you're getting all these different assets later. Goddard's going so late; it's like 8th round or some. I'm not saying you want to double up on QB, but bully QB, you can actually do it. You're getting so much value downstream. DJ Moore's a steal. Michael Wilson Jr. and Parker Washington are like one and the same ADP wise. So you're getting these boys later, and you go early tight end instead of early wide receiver here in the second round. You can make up the difference. You walk out of your draft saying, I don't think I missed a beat. But that only happens in March, April, May, June. Start getting into July, sometimes June. But July, August, September, all of your sleepers, people are starting to draft because we're ahead of the curve. So being ahead of the curve gives you options in these rounds where you don't feel like you missed a beat. You start drafting Bowers and McBride later, you're not listening to me. Your team's going to have a lot more holes. Do your early tight end drafting early. Don't draft early tight end later because you'll have less value on the board, period. This is the last thing, and then we'll hit the super chats and all the questions. Breece Hall, according to The Athletic, blah, 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 believes there's a 60-40 chance, total arbitrary guesswork number, that Breece signs an extension with the Jets after the NFL draft. It went on to say that the 60% chance being that he, or the 40% chance that he plays on the tag, 60% chance that he gets a new deal. But they didn't leave any room for a trade. Is a trade likely? No, but if he's unhappy enough with the team and the status and state of the team, and they're literally not giving him anything that he believes he deserves to get, especially if some of these other some of these other contract players, running backs, get big paydays. Gibbs and Bijan and these guys are going to get like $20 million. Now, does that happen next offseason? where do these paydays happen? If someone gets paid, and sometimes even the receivers will affect the running back market because it's all a connected spider web, that even if you're in a different position, it's still a web laid onto the running backs, and everything gets pulled up as the guaranteed money and all the values go up. As wide receiver values go up, the running backs will get dragged up with it, even if the proportion's still very far apart. And so Breece Hall might not think that the Jets are giving him even a respectable contract. Maybe he starts to make his stink. The problem is he's not that vocal of a guy. I don't know if he can create enough divide between he and the team to create that trade potential in enough time that these teams won't use this rookie running back class to fill their voids, and then nobody needs a running back. However, could a trade happen mid-season or something? I mean, still certainly could, but Breece Hall will be on his tag if he doesn't sign an extension. There's no ability to extend him, so it's hard to trade for a player. So at the end of the day, Breece Hall is a very, very tough player to anticipate being traded, but it's still not a 0% chance that he gets traded. It's still something above like 5 to 10% that he still could get traded as the Jets navigate their situation. So know that. Patrick Mahomes, we already did a video on this, but I want to make sure everyone knows everything's looking great. He's on track. He's in the facility 7 hours to 8 hours a day, just crushing the rehab, and he's gonna be back so early. Let me put that up real quick. As everyone keeps saying, will he be ready for week 1? Will he be ready for week 1? Not only will he be ready for week 1, they're talking about voluntary off-season practices. So he's looking so good, bro. This is one of the most athletic, players and hardest working players in the league. So Athletic reports that Micah Parsons' knee is expected to miss the first 3 or 4 games of the season. Not good, not good, not good. I've already got my concerns about the Green Bay Packers. They're just not a team I think has everything put together, and it just could be another rough year. Myles Garrett, despite the contract situation, there's a 100% chance that the team is not trading him. So don't expect Myles Garrett to be traded despite some tinkering with the contract. And then this last piece of news, John Spytek, GM of the Raiders, said things have a way of working out the way they're supposed to. We welcome him, Max Crosby, like he never left, because he really never did. And this was a response given when asked about the complexities of that Max Crosby unfolding. And Spytek's made it abundantly clear he is there to stay. And Max has made it very clear he is there to stay. The Raiders defense is going to be phenomenal, which will help the offensive line, the field position, everything cascades into each other. The Raiders are going to be a team that's very impressive, despite everybody's negativity toward the Raiders. Let's get to these super chats. Appreciate every single one of you. Let me head over to Rumble real quickly and see if we have any super chats lingering there. We got Aldi in the building, New Age Outlaw. We've got FDX. New Age, appreciate you. Everybody, fantastic job on Rumble. We're at 7.42K. Things are rocking over on Rumble. And we did the Rumble show today, the 1.1 show over on Rumble. Go check it out. It's on YouTube as well, so go check it out. There's a little Rumble in the graphic. You'll always see that. I'm going to multi-stream to YouTube so that the YouTube crew can tag along, no doubt. Let's hit these super chats here that we've got. We've got one from All Day, one from Luis. Luis dropping a $5 hauler. All Day dropping his... Oh, hold on. Let me fix this text. You can't read it. Hold on one second. There we go. Fixed and altered. This one's from All Day. All Day says, who is an upside backup running back to draft before Corum? We'll go over the Cuffboard, I think, today a little bit. Backup running back. I think some of the rookies are going to qualify for this, like Jadarian Price or Jonah Coleman or Emmett Johnson. Those guys probably will be in Mike Washington. I think, we get into a territory of Pete Mitchell and LAC backing up Hampton. He's very far down. I'm just going through some names. Dylan Sampson's intriguing. Tank Bigsby behind Barkley's very intriguing. Alvin Kamara could be a backup. Singleton, another rookie. Vidal, we still got to look at that. BBQ gifting 20 gifted memberships. BBQ, straight up savage.
Mashed potatoes! Yeah, buddy.
BBQ, my boy, appreciate you very much. If we go back to, you said quorum above or below quorum, let's say above quorum. Quorum's getting drafted about 100 overall, which is fantastic. Above that, there aren't a lot of cuffs. Ramondre and Hendy are another cuff situation that we'll go over in a minute. And where that ranks on the board, I could move it to 1. I haven't adjusted the board at all. I just threw those players up. Bashal Tutin is another player that might have a cuff, or he could become the cuff. Scatterboo might have a cuff or become the cuff. But I don't know that there's a lot of handcuffs that are above where Quorum is. Quorum is like borderline draftable to play as an every down flex play. And the cuffs in the world are below where Quorum's ADP is. Kenny Gainwell is a fantastic cuff. So Kenny Gainwell to Bucky. So we'll go over that in a second. Appreciate you and hang tight. So Gainwell, we'll talk about Gainwell in a second. What would be the earliest you would draft P. Wash in a half PPR 10-man league? His ADP, Luis. I mean, I'd go a little higher than his ADP, but I just want to make sure we're abundantly clear. People say I took him at 50 overall, Smitty. You didn't listen to a word I said. 72 over, not you, Luis, but anybody that does it. 72 overall. That puts him at, let me pull up a board here real quickly. 72 overall. That is right where? That's right at the beginning of round number, or the end of round number 6. So the 6-7 turn. So I'd say like late 6th round. I wouldn't be reaching at the top of 6 or the end of 5. You're wasting your opportunity to crush this without any risk at all. Because Parker Washington, unless he suffers some sort of injury you couldn't predict, he's earning 7th round, like top of 7, late 6th round value. He'll earn that. He'll get you 907. And even if that's slightly under your expectation for that draft capital, like you're not losing any leagues with him being your seventh drafted player. If you take him at 5 or the 5-6 turn because you got excited about a Smitty video, you're not you, Lewis. I'm saying you in general. You're not listening. You're not listening to a word I'm saying. This is a take advantage when the opportunity strikes and it presents itself, or you pass. You don't force a square peg in a round hole. Drafting a guy like Parker Washington rounds above his expectation, like some people do when we do a draft. It's so frustrating to even a paying league, even a underdog draft. We'll get in there and somebody will listen to a show, and then all of a sudden you get into a draft, and I'm not going to put any names out there, but you draft somebody a round and a half early, and you'll think everybody's excited because, oh, he took him, all right. Everyone's just sitting and going, what are you doing? Why are you taking Parker Washington at 5.10? Because what? You're not impressing anybody by ruining the chance and opportunity you have to bake in the risk. Emmanuel Wilson, absolutely. Emmanuel Wilson's on the cuff board. All right, so let's get right to the cuff board. And thank you, gentlemen, for dropping the super chats, you monsters. And we'll also be back at midnight, of course. And BBQ, thank you for dropping 20 gifted memberships. I hope BBQ calls in, because we haven't had BBQ call in forever. BBQ, if you're not able to, don't worry about it. But BBQ, you've been missed to a degree, even though you do show up and drop a 20 gifted membership like a freaking world star. We appreciate you. BBQ again.
I smell meatloaf. Meatloaf.
By the way, Smitty's cooking not meatloaf, but it's meatballs in a... What is it? It's a sub roll cut out with lasagna and meatballs in the sub. And I can smell it right now. And I can't wait to dig in. Let's go to the cuff board real quickly. Let's put everybody that I can think of real quickly on the board so that we don't end up, so that we're navigating this thing properly. I'm not saying Stevenson is anywhere close to being 1 or 2 or anything. Bigsby, I want to make sure Bigsby's on the board. I'm not going to put the rookies on yet because we don't know where they're going to be. Dowdle's a cuff right now. Warren's going to probably enter as the starter or be more valuable. So that Jordan James is a phenomenal sleeper cuff over in San Francisco with a player like Pacheco's even. With a player like McCaffrey, Pacheco's even on the board. Again, none of these are are players that I'm feeling like even Woody Marks is now a handcuff. We'll talk about Woody Marks. I'll put him on the board. Let's see here, Aaron Jones. I'm gonna leave Aaron Jones off for now. Nobody even dare say Caleb Johnson. Monty Monangai. Monangai is a cuff. He's a backup right now. Like this might be one of the top guys. I'm gonna put him right here. Like Monangai is such a monster. I don't want to overlook the Monangai situation. Bigsby I got on the board. Dowdle we put up there. Let's see here. Tootin. Tootin's on here, but as the primary somewhere. So let's just put him like at 4 for now. And his cuff will be important. Be very, very important. Scattaboo, I'm just going to put him down at the bottom because we don't know if he ends up becoming a cuff at some point. I'll look for Wilson. I don't know if I have a graphic for Wilson for some reason. I'll have to look. Hendy, we got to put Hendy and Ramondre on here because there'll be like a co-cuff situation. We'll tackle that. Harvey, we already got Harvey. I'll take Parker Washington off now, but that was just an illustration of how this could probably go. Where's my Emmanuel Wilson graphic? Damn it! I feel like I have one. I just don't know if I have it buried somewhere. I might have to make one as we're talking, but for now, I'm gonna put Wilson up here. Emmanuel Wilson. So very, very, very big sleeper. And then, Charbonnet too, though, is like, when's he coming back? So like which one? They're just going to be like de facto, cuffed together type of situation. So I'll put that right here. Keaton Mitchell is probably one of the most intriguing cuffs in fantasy. We love Keaton Mitchell. You won't find a content creator higher on Keaton Mitchell than this one right here. I just don't know where my graphic was for Mitchell. They're in some sort of like subfolder. We'll go ahead and have to either find that or recreate that. So we'll put that right here. Phone lines are open. If anybody would like to call in and discuss the cuff board or any other situation, this is Keaton Mitchell. All right, dial into the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I don't even know where to begin on this. I'm going to definitely massage the board around. No pause needed. As we go, not only tonight, but like even when we get off the show, I might show a completely different board tomorrow. And I'm spitballing this right now. I mean, even the Cardinals backfield, like Algier is cuffed to who? Is it Benson? Because we don't know. I'm going to leave that alone for right now. Gainwell is one of the most interesting cuffs in fantasy.
B-Rob with Big B-John.
Yeah, B-Rob, it's a disaster, but yes. Oh, here's Keaton Mitchell. I had him in a subfolder. So Keaton Mitchell, I think I have Wilson somewhere. No, I've got Wilson somewhere.
Pacheco.
Yeah, Pacheco's, he's already on the board.
Okay.
Samson.
You got Jordan James, yeah.
I mean, Rashad White, Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt. Like, there's a lot of. Let's just start going. I don't think I'm missing anybody that deserves to be like at the top slot. I don't think. I think a lot of these rookies.
Ray Davis.
He does need to be on here. So I'll put Ray Davis on here, and I'm going to start going down. And again, the rookies won't be on here yet. But Corum and Kyren, I think that's worthy of being the number one because the value's there for Corum to be your every down flex right away. And so his cuff value and that's what the board's really about. I go back and forth whether the board should be about the security of the duo, but then you get into a messy territory where you're like, well, then Bijan and Brian Robinson are the number one. And then you're like, okay, what is this? Just a running back ranking board? So it's hard. You got to kind of keep focused on that. It's really about the cuff more than it is the starter. But I think in some cases, the starters considered, like in Kyren's case, because of how important Corum makes Kyren. So it sometimes is a crossover of, intentions there that make it hard to stay focused with this. But I think this is the number one, just because Corum is so. If Kyren goes down, then Corum's the top 10 to 12 running back. If not, Kyren is such like the combo. It's so safe. So I'm gonna put this here. The next one, I'm just gonna throw it out now. I'm not saying that these aren't gonna change. It's either gonna be Keaton Mitchell or Gainwell, just from the jump until I dig into it. Like Hendy and Stevenson could rank higher if we worked it out in a certain way and I started to like think about it differently. But is it Mitchell or is it Gainwell or is it other, Travis, for you?
Man, I guess it would one of them, or I mean, I think B-Rob is a 10 top like 15 RB if he gets in full time, but they probably have a little more value because of their PPR work.
Yeah, B-Rob is pretty good. He's definitely feeling top 3 or 4 on the board for me. But I don't know. Let me see if I have. Where's my damn B-Rob graphic? Son of a B. Where are you, B-Rob? I have him somewhere, but I'm going to have to write his name until I fix. Oh, no, here it is. B-Rob. There it is. No, that's. Yeah, that's why I couldn't recognize it as Commander. I got to fix the graphic.
It's obviously not. It's not Kyren and Corum, but like just in terms of the safety, like the dependability. If Bijan went down, you're devastated. But if you have B-Rob, you at least know you probably have an easy RB2 you're sliding in your lineup every week.
Yeah. No, I agree. For the most part, I do. I just don't know if I'll move him down slightly. I gotta cover that.
Yeah, he could get moved down.
So I'll put B-Rob there. I'll put Bijan next to him. Bijan, there you go, pal. Congratulations, making the cuff board. So Mitchell, Bucky, and Gainwell. And, I think Gainwell is more important than Mitchell for now, only because I believe that Mitchell is, he's still on his way to becoming the, he's not for sure. There. Yeah, he's not for sure the backup. So I think we got to be a little mindful of that. So we'll put it like this: Gainwell, Bucky, number 2, B-Rob, and B-Rob. The Bob Robs, together there. Mitchell, is Mitchell 4, or are we still saying because we don't know Mitchell's further downstream? Like Monangai might be a top 10 running back, and then I go back and forth and say, well, wait a minute, like Swift Monangai, like maybe Monangai's the best one on the board. I don't know. I'm going back and forth on that one.
Do you see Swift Monangai, kind of similar to Kyren and Corum?
I do.
Where
I even could put Monangai 1. I could even move this. Now to Monangai 1. Just because it almost feels unfair to throw him on the cuff board, but he is the cuff right now. Right now. That could change.
Yeah.
But right now he's the cuff. So I guess I'm going to move this around a little bit. So we'll go Bijan. We'll move Gainwell. I got to redo these graphics.
You got a $10 holler from Stro Shell.
Okay, thank you for dropping that, my boy. I'll get to that 1 second. Let me just, before I lose my train of thought, let me move this damn thing. Hold on. All right, so Monangai goes 1. Move everybody over here. Bijan and B-Rob are 4. Gainwell, and so it's going to be something along these lines. Kyren and Corum 2. Let me move this up here. B-Rob will become 4. And I might change this in a second, but this is kind of the way I'm feeling. These guys are 3.
Oh, that is a good point. Did you have Dowdle and Warren?
Yeah, Dowdle's on here for sure.
Okay, cool.
So, I think this is probably a good start. Warren, let me put Swift on here, and again, Monangai might become like I'm putting the starter in front of the Cuff, and I'm actually putting Monangai as the starter. And that probably isn't fair, honestly, but I just feel like that's how it's going to be. So it's just a rarity here that this Cuffboard, this value might not last. You know, the Monangai value. All right. Tootin will have a Cuff, but we can't worry about that now because, right. Well, yeah. He might become a Cuff or have a Cuff. We'll have to look at that later, but we can't really put him.
For now it's Rodriguez, but
yeah. So
there's a good chance something could change there.
Yeah. So we'll put. I'm gonna take Tootin Rodriguez. Oh no, I'm just gonna set him in the corner.
That's kind of like Sharps and Wilson too, right?
Yeah, I like Wilson a lot, and he's gonna start probably at first for a while unless they draft
unless they draft Price or something.
Yeah, so that could be intriguing. So let's put Wilson and Sharps here with the intention that Wilson could go to the moon. Everybody understand that. Mitchell for right now with Hampton. And Vidal's still in the mix. You can't ignore that. I'm not saying anything of the sort for anybody that's thinking that I'm discrediting or throwing away or discarding Vidal, but it does feel like Mitchell. I mean, this is an Achane player. He is Achane 2.0. Not that he'll become Achane, but he has the skill set that Achane has. Very much the same kind of player. So it's a really intriguing combo. Bigsby's real important to me. Hendy and Stevenson's kind of interesting because they both are going late, and if anything, Stevenson is the backup to Hendy in terms of the ADP. So that's a tough one to like pencil out as to how important it is, when we're trying to figure this thing. I don't know if I'm going to rank anything else right now. I think I'm just going to pair everybody on the board.
Yeah.
So we got Barkley and Bigsby, which is a very important pairing. We've got Scattaboo eventually.
Bigsby would explode if Barkley went down.
Yeah, Scattaboo I'm going to take off for now because he doesn't have anybody, but eventually he will be a Cuff. Sampson and Judkins is a very, very intriguing one because I like Sampson. I'm not a huge Judkins.
Or Tracy will be Scattaboo's Cuff.
Yeah, they probably will though. So we'll see on there. Where's Sampson? Where's Judkins? I don't have Judkins on the board, but.
One good thing about the Chargers situation too is that they only have 5 draft picks in this draft, so the chances they use it on a running back are, slimmer than it would be if they had, 8, 9, 10 picks.
Yeah, Marks and I'm not going to take him off the board. I'm going to throw him in the corner here. Harvey's going to go in the corner.
Yeah, Marks and Monty will eventually be somewhere, but.
Jordan James and CMC is that might even go a lot higher than I have it. That might go like 3 or 4. I don't know.
That's a good one, yeah.
I might have to move this quite a bit. I'm just going to put it right here for now. So CMC and Jordan James. Ray Davis.
In terms of true ranking, until the draft passes, we're really not going to be able to.
Yeah, I might not even like mess with the order all that much. We'll go James Cook and Ray Davis.
And like Silver says Algier and Connor, and that might be it. But at the same time, like we have no idea what the deal with Benson is. Like,
yeah,
Benson could be a bust, or what if Benson is healthy and back to full strength? I mean, he could be better than Algier. We just don't know.
Woody Marks and Rashad White. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that's gonna. Or not what he marks. I mean, Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt, and Rashad White. Marks and Monty, very interesting for Marks, I suppose. So we got Monty and Marks. But yeah, Ja'Cory and I don't know if I can even put Ja'Cory and White on here right now. I just don't have room. Harvey's for later. Well, I guess you could put JK on here or whatever, but Harvey for later. Dowdle and Warren. Dowdle's an intriguing cuff. Where's my Jalen Warren? Damn it. Where are you, Warren? There it is. Am I missing any vital combos? I'll put the Algier one on here, I guess, if I can fit it. But I don't even know who the backup
really, because
is going to be.
Etienne and Genty don't have great backups right now. Javante's backup is kind of up in the air. It's going to be interesting to see what the Packers and the Ravens do in the draft at running back, because they have Jacobs and Henry with not much to back them up.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe Wilson. They didn't keep him in Green Bay.
Yeah,
he's Kamara and Etienne. I mean, I don't know where Kamara's.
Okay,
if Kamara's going to be on the roster, but
I was saying Etienne doesn't have a good backup, but I guess Kamara's still there. So
yeah, so we'll put Kamara and Etienne for now. Kind of wild. Kamara's his backup. I think he might retire. So that's the Cuffboard right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's an intriguing board. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I didn't know what it was going to look like, to be honest. But I don't know how it's going to shake out again. There's not a lot of ranking going on. This number 6 is not ranking anybody, by the way. So we'll put Harvey and Tootin over here kind of touch. Maybe I'll put Scat over there with those guys, actually. So Scat,
I don't know that it's worthy. How do you feel about DiMarcado behind Walker? It's probably further down the list.
I do like him. Yeah, I do like him. I do think he's interesting. Hubbard and Brooks, yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Brooks needs to be on here. I'm not a big fan of Brooks. I think the odds of Brooks staying healthy or even being able to contribute are like everyone's assuming Brooks is going to be healthy.
Well, we've been through this. Like he came back and everyone's like, oh, he's back, and he blows his knee out after 2 games or something. So really
I think the backup to Chuba might not be on the roster yet. That's how much I don't know.
The Brooks stuff is a lot of people that drafted him high and is holding on to him, or people that grabbed him off the waiver wire and are hoping he gets back. Like, oh, I just got an elite prospect off the waiver wire. Well, we have no idea,
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him because he was an awesome talent, but you just got to see it before.
Let me hit the super chat real quickly. I'm sorry I made you wait, Strone. My bad. I think Harvey will be good in a satellite Jalen Warren-like role when the Steelers had Najee. Dobbins is the most to lose if the running back is drafted. Yeah, for sure. And like I've said, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Appreciate the $10 by Strone. Strone, you still here? I think Harvey it sucks for those that already own him. If something happens wild in the draft, Harvey becomes the thorn in the side and he becomes dirt cheap. You grab him and you get this weird production from him. But it's going to hurt for those that already have him that don't get to invest at the new value. So it's just 2 different perspectives for Harvey. Like in some ways, I'm open arms to a weird situation because then I get Harvey for free.
The one rookie that would worry me if they drafted him in Denver would be Jonah Coleman, just because he does everything. He's really good in the pass game, and he's a big body runner. So that would worry me. But don't you feel like Peyton might try to do kind of the Ingram
maybe
Harvey thing?
Maybe, yeah. This one's the one that's perplexing me the most in terms of not the situation. We already know how perplexed I am about Hendy and the usage. It just drives me nuts. But I'm perplexed as to where I put it because Hendy right now is not. He's drafted higher, but he is considered like the. I don't know. You almost can't say he's a cuff at all though, because he is going high enough that he's not like a cuff. So if we're looking at Stevenson, is Stevenson a valuable cuff? Like if we objectively look at this, yes, but I don't know where to put it because you might get a starter out of Stevenson if Vrabel decides to misuse Hendy, and so that's Stevenson's a pretty damn good cuff then. So he needs to be on here. I just don't know where.
And they're drafting another running back. It's just a matter of, is it a depth piece or do they do something crazy? I don't think they will draft someone high,
but Stevenson ain't a bad cuff, even though people are going to say he's not the cuff, but he is ADP wise. So it makes it complex to evaluate is basically where we're at with that. Kyren and Corum. I think Swift is the most intriguing one on this entire board. I'm sorry, Monangai Swift.
Yeah, gotta be.
It's just value, tremendous value.
Who knows what they do too? Who knows what gets thrown into that mix from the draft?
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing. But
yeah,
I think if anything happens there, it would be to Swift's detriment, though. I mean, Monangai Ben Johnson drafted him, and he fits so good in that offense. He does things that offense needs. Swift is replaceable, technically speaking.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to go with some of this. I think if I had to guess on the combo that's going to leapfrog, like the next time I show this board, and it's going to be like, whoa, that looks different. It's probably going to be Jordan James McCaffrey, if I had to guess. Bijan and Brian Robinson could climb quite a bit because it's about Brian Robinson. It's not about Bijan necessarily, but at all. But how much do we feel like Bijan is likely to get hurt and all that? I mean, sometimes you have to factor in that, right? Like the idea that Christian McCaffrey could go down because of the workload and James go in, that needs to be figured. Pacheco's pretty decent, but the idea of Gibbs going down, Bucky's considered a little injury prone, you could say, until he shakes the label free. Not saying he can't shake it free, but then Gainwell's pretty intriguing then. So a lot of this comes down to like variables like that and predicting injury. And so, I like Bijan and Brian Robinson a lot as a cuff. I just don't know if I'm putting them like 1, 2, or 3, because my idea of the cuff board is you're winning leagues and you're maybe even scoring points while you're waiting for something magical to happen. Like Algier last year was one of the best cuffs in fantasy football. Corum was one of the best cuffs in fantasy football because you're able to use them on a weekly basis regardless. And then they had the additional built-in win a league, like almost like nuclear weapon value if something was to go awry with the starter. So I kind of feel like that's where I am at with the Bijan Brian Robinson. Maybe Brian Robinson's used similar to how Algier was used, but it is a new staff, so it's not like you can just like say, oh, that's going to be the same thing. Let me move all this over again. None of this is in order of any significance right now, guys, that isn't labeled. And even if it is labeled, I might change it drastically. Let's see, Cook and Dave.
The Niners draft is going to be really interesting because they have a first, a second, and 4 fourth rounders, and that's their draft. So everything they do is in the first 4 rounds, unless they trade back or whatever. But that kind of lowers the chance that they take it back.
Yeah.
They only have 6 picks. Someone said Pollard and Spears, but the Titans are definitely taking it back.
Yeah.
Even if they don't take Love, they're taking it back.
I'm not going to consider that one. As I'm not considering Arizona's that much right now because we don't know what Ben looks like and how the Connor and I don't know.
Yeah, and Pollard and Spears, and then with the Vikings are going to take it back, and Mason and Cook. All four of those guys are on the last year of their deal as well. So something is changing with both of those backfields. So we got to wait on those.
Wilson and I'm going to put Wilson and Charbonnet out here because damn, this is like one of those like handcuff. I don't want to lose sight of what the board is intended to do is help you win a league. And just because this is a weird situation, like, well, Wilson's not really the cuff because he might play early on and it doesn't matter. Like this, he is drafted like trash, like a cuff right now. So Wilson's league winning.
Yeah.
I almost think that could jump up the board.
Well, and even if they took a price, that situation is still going to stay really high on the Cuffboard.
Yeah, so we'll just replace Price with, Wilson. So Barkley and Bigsby.
And even Price and Wilson until Sharps comes back is a huge, asset to have.
Yeah. I think Barkley and Bigsby are going to be high on the board. Yeah, this looks pretty good. McCaffrey, Jordan James is very, very intriguing. I'll keep that one kind of in the spotlight here. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. This one's intriguing me a ton. Wilson, Jordan James intriguing me a ton. Mitchell, Bigsby. The Hendy Stevenson is really hard to kind of grasp how I want to attack that in terms of promoting it versus not promoting it as one of the best cuffing situations. Because I'm not like thinking Stevenson goes out there and does what I believe Corum could do if Corum was starting, or Mitchell could do if Mitchell was starting, or James could do if James was starting. I just think, and on top of that, like Stevenson is getting older, the injury risk is still, it gets bigger every year. I don't know. This is pretty intriguing. I like looking at this though. This is fantastic. I'm glad we got to do the board. The cuff board is here, ladies and gentlemen. The cuff board is here. All right, I'm off to go get some food. Travis, I'll see you on the Graveyard Show.
Yep. Thanks, Smitty. See you then. Bye.
All right, later, bro. I'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all that you do. Oh, Hammer dropped a $20 super chat over on Rumble. Let me get to that real quickly. Hammer, appreciate you. Late to the party, he says, no problem. Hammer time, $20 super chat. We had the super chats from All Day, Luis and Strone. Appreciate you guys dropping fire. And Hammer dropping a $20 hauler on the Rumble. Where's my hammer time? Where's my hammer time? Here it is.
It's hammer time.
Hammer says, sorry I'm late. I like Mitchell and Dowdle. As you should. Hammer to the moon. Everybody to the moon. Thank you, everybody on Rumble. Appreciate you. I'll be back at midnight Eastern. Don't forget to check out thefantasyfootballshow.com. I've been working my tail off on this thing. Go check it out. Best content you'll find, in my opinion, on the web, period. I've been doing this longer than anybody that you can find in the fantasy football space from a content perspective. Did radio for 19 years straight until I started doing YouTube. Did the content the entire time from day one. We're talking, 2026? So I've been doing that content for going on 24, 25 years that I've done content straight. Just this content, but improving it. And I've never improved it more over the course of 25 years than I did this offseason. What I did to the site this offseason trumps 23, 24 years of what I've done on the site. That's how good this is now. It's unbelievable. Go subscribe. You just check out the homepage. Go to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Links in description. Thefantasyfootballshow.com. And just look at the homepage and tell me you're not like, this is worth it. Let me do it. Let me do it. Thank you. Thank you, Hammer. Appreciate you. Thank you, Luis. Thank you. BBQ. BBQ, you still out there? I was hoping BBQ would call. All day, Luis, Strone, Hammer, BBQ, New Age. New Age in the building. Appreciate Simi Valley over on Rumble. Aldi, appreciate you on Rumble. We need to get a few more mods over on Rumble. Who over on Rumble wants to be a mod right now? Raise your hand. I don't want to make Hammer a mod because Hammer's like, he doesn't want to be a mod anyway. But Hammer, you're more of a Hammer. Like Rock Out, I remember I offered Rock Out a mod spot once, and I was like, I shouldn't have done that because I like Rock Out being the, in the role he's at. But if Hammer wanted it, I would give him the damn mod wrench. But I don't think he's not the type of guy that wants it. I don't think. Simi Valley, you're a mod, right? Yeah, you're a mod. Who else wants a mod over on the Rumble side? Hammer, I'd give it to you if you wanted it, but I just mean I don't think you want to be contained or controlled. All right, see you all later. Aldi wants one. See if I can do it. Aldi, give me a second. You should have it. Hold on, Aldi. Aldi, tell me if you notice you get mod access here in a second. You should have it. Refresh maybe. All right, guys. See you at midnight Eastern. Appreciate you all. Deuce.